And we are back. Pokemon White 2, Hardcore Nuzlocke. This time we are only going to be using Fire-type Pokemon. Seeing as Tepic is the only Fire-type that you can get prior to the first gym, it is going to be the Lillipup versus the World here, and Cheren comes down. Two Normal-type Pokemon, the Pat Route leading the charge. Let's see if Tepic can absolutely clutch this. Unova starting off the fight with an Ember. We're going all in for the burn here. If Pat Rat can get burned, it really can't do hardly any damage to us. I do believe Tackle could do just a smidge more, but either way, it looks like Pat Rat's going to be flirting with the yellow or the red health bar. So we get Pat Rat really low, forcing the potion, but as you can see, Unova is taking a ton of damage right now, and if we're not healthy enough when the Lillipup comes down, this is all for naught. As we get shot all the way down to 15, we reprieve back to 25, but Pat Rat falls, and I don't think that's high enough in HP to go toe-to-toe with the Ace Lillipup. Either way, the Ace comes down, and now we are on the back foot. A workup is coming in as well, so now Lillipup is +1 attack, and that is going to be terrifying for a stab tackle. On top of that, Lillipup is faster and has completed basically a sword stance there as we helplessly go for the Ember for the burn, also hoping for a critical off the top as well as we eat a tackle living with 5 HP, but we are not faster, so unless Lillipup throws it all, he does not. We lose our starter, and the first attempt has already failed. Let's see if the Tepig can take on Cheren and his Pat Rat as well as Lillipup this time around. We go down to 7 HP. We're going to pivot to an Ember, all in for the burn, as we're not going to be able to beat the Lillipup unless we can survive one more hit. Second run is gone. All right, us versus Cheren for the third time. We might be able to live one tackle as we do connect on the burn, absolutely. And now we can go in for the tackle as that does more damage. And look at how safe the burn keeps us. Unova clears the first gym. This is the third attempt, but this might be the run. Who knows? Let's go. All right, it's time for our Verbank Complex encounter. It is going to be the little Growlithe. We chuck the Great Ball, hoping to secure the second team member. Now, we're going to have to hold off on the Arcanine until later, and you'll see why. But right now, we're operating on a team of 2. All right, it is time for Gym Leader Roxy. This is the second gym, focusing mainly on Poison-type Pokemon. We got the upgraded Tepig into the Pignite, so Unova is looking really strong for this fight. We're just going to lean into the Work Up Flame Charge combination here. We tank one tackle off the top from the Little Coughing. We go in for basically a Sword Stance, and now we are +2 attack, and now we are getting greedy for 3. Why not? We are here to stay. Unova representing our team. We're right at 50% HP, and now let's go for the Flame Charge and see. We cannot one-shot the Coughing, which is still surprising, but we're still okay, as now we are going to be outspeeding the Whirlipede that comes down, the Ace, and Coughing holds on in the red. Once again, after the potion, we go for another Flame Charge, and now we are +5 speed and +3 attack, which is absolute insanity. Definitely didn't need that many procs, but I guess better safe than sorry as the Whirlipede comes down, and we lean into our final Flame Charge and beat the second gym leader pretty handedly. The poison comes down, we shake it off with a berry, and everything is right in the world. Let's go. And you would not believe me if I told you that this is where our third attempt ends. Yep, I kid you not, I am sitting here in a double battle against 2 Eevees, and I am absolutely begging this Eevee to come home. This Eevee denies us all satisfaction, and on top of that, takes it into her own hands and kills Growlithe. It doesn't even jiggle. Another quick attack comes down. Pignite holding on with 2 HP. We're falling apart. We're fading away. We chuck one last Pokeball. Eevee, do you believe in friendship? No, she does not, and she comes in with one final quick attack, and we lose both of our Pokemon to our potential third encounter. What is this? I can't believe it. Let's get that fourth run. My goodness. Now there's not 2 Eevees coming at you, and Growlithe isn't out there. We have 10 Pokeballs. We are just fine. Now, if Eevee breaks out of all 10 of these, I should have went and bought more Pokeballs and more Great Balls, but look at that. It only takes 1. All right, so it's time for the third gym leader here, Berg and his Bug-type Pokemon. Really, anytime you lock in the Fire starter, this is probably going to be a sweep unless something horrific happens. But we are leaning into the workups, and we are just going to work up to the heavens, and we're going to use this Swabloon to just run away with this fight as we get the second workup, and then the Flame Charge is going to compensate for the lack of speed, and then we're going to be hitting harder than anything on the field, and we are going to be faster than anybody here. So we get the third one, potentially starting off the Flame Charge right here. Now, he did get a crit with the Razor Leaf, so we are a little bit lower than we want to be, but there goes the Swabloon, one shot, goodbye. And now that leaves the cute little Dwebble here, who is not going to go down as easily, but hopefully just 2 Flame Charges can do the trick. And absolutely, we actually almost one-shot the little crab that could here. And this is going to be fine as it setups with a Rock Polish, trying to get its speed up as well. The Hyper Potion comes down, just delaying the inevitable as another Flame Charge comes in, leaving Dwebble in the red. And now if we can just get one more, there we go. That will only leave Levany or Levani, the Ace from Berg here. We get the level up on top, which is always nice. And now Levany comes down, level 24 Showdown, and we're just going to lean into one final Flame Charge. It is stab and 4 times super effective. Beautiful stuff. The fourth attempt continues. Hoping for the best here, we're going to go ahead and secure the Darumaka encounter, adding yet another fire type to the team. I think Darumaka is definitely going to be the ace up our sleeve moving forward, especially when it comes to sweeps and strategies of that nature. For our Lost Lorn Forest encounter, it's only like a 5% chance that you can get a Pansear in a rustling grass, but we finally find her, we chuck the Pokeball, and secure yet another team member. All right, it is time to take on Elisa and her electric-type Pokemon. We're going to let Flareon take the driver's seat for this fight. The Emolga comes down. Now, Castelia here, the Flareon is not Vaporeon, my favorite, but that special defense is actually really high in this case as well, so we're going to lean into that as the Emolga Volt switches out to the Flaffy. Flaffy takes massive damage from the Fire Fang, and now we're going to pivot to the Dig and see if we can get rid of this electric sheep without getting paralyzed. However, the static does come down, so the Berry for reprieve, going to get rid of that, and now Castelia is looking pretty darn good. The Emolga comes back down, and we're going to have to roll the paralysis here, but the Volt Switch actually gets the Flying Chipmunk to safety, meaning the Ace Zeebstrika is coming out to play. The Fire Fang does connect and does massive damage to the Zebra, but the Citrus Berry gets her to a much better spot. The Pursuit comes down, outspeeds. Our physical defense isn't as great. We tank that on the top. No problem, though, as the Super Effective Div does connect with a fadeaway critical, and the Zebra is no more, meaning it is a 1v1 now with the Emolga. We are in crit range. We're at 32 HP, but maybe we can tank this. No problem. It was dead on. If that crit, I think we would have lost Castelia, but the Fire Fang doing massive damage as well. I do believe it is time to pivot to our starter Unova, the Pig Knight, ready to go. Big old plump piggy here coming down, and I'm going to see if we can show the Flying Chipmunk who's boss. The cuteness is very underrated as she is just doing work with the Volt Switch. Another one comes down. It is stab, but it is not super effective, thankfully, as it leaves us in the orange, and we fade away with the Flame Charge. A little static for the disrespect, but no problem. Elisa is defeated, and that is 4 gym badges down. Everything's going fairly well, but if you can't feel it, I feel like something bad is going to happen, but let's try to avoid that at all costs. All right, we've cleared out the 5th gym and the trainers therein, and this fight always gives me issues on our normal playthrough, so I am definitely nervous going in with just fire types, as the ground typing is going to be so dangerous. Any critical hits and this junk is over, but let's see if we can outplay Clay here. We're going to lean into Lost Lorn using Yawn, the Fire Monkey, opening us up. The Crocodile responds with a Torment. That is not what I expected. I was expecting the super effective Stab Bulldoze, so now we're just going to think about this for a moment, but we are going to be leaning into the Unova sweep. The Pig Knight comes down, and we have the air balloon equipped that you can get in one of the hotels there. One of the guys gives it to you. So we've got that working for us, and now we're going to lean into the workup here to essentially give ourselves a sword stance so we can be one-shotting or close to one-shotting everything that we need to. We get 2 workups down. We're +2. Another Torment comes down, and our air balloon is still intact, which is absolutely massive. We're going for the Flame Charge, and it does one-shot the Croak. So now we are +2 attack, +1 speed, and we are looking pretty good against the last 2 Pokemon that Clay has to send out. The Sandslash comes down with a massive physical defense. On top of that, we cannot use Flame Charge again because of that Torment. So we go ahead and go into a 3rd workup, eat a Crush Claw off the top. We do lose our air balloon, so we are going all in on the Flame Charge. We do have +3 attack, and it's not enough to even get Sandslash into the red. So the Bulldoze comes down. It is Stab super effective, and Unova holds with 1 HP. We lose one of our speed charges, but it's okay as we're still going to outspeed the Sandslash. And I didn't realize that I was supposed to get the Fire Punch TM from another guy in a hotel, so the Flame Charge was actually way too weak for this strategy, but it doesn't matter as the Pig Knight gets a fadeaway critical on the Excadrill, and we are beyond lucky. I cannot believe we made it out with the starter intact. Our Celestial encounter is going to be the cute little Gandalf Litwick. We're going to chuck the Luxury Ball and secure our 6th encounter of the run. I do believe there's still 2 or 3 out there, but I will definitely take it. And then for our Relic Castle encounter, it is going to be the prized Volcarona here. Gonna check out the Flareon, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use our Master Ball and secure this ridiculous encounter. We got the Bug Fire typing, and he's gonna be very pivotal for the run moving forward. All right, it is now time to take on Gym Leader Skyla. This is going to be number 6, focusing mainly on Flying-type Pokemon. Pretty straightforward plan here. I went back and reviewed Flygon HG's run on this, where he only uses fire types as well, and it really does start and end with the Darumaka given that damage. Now, we do have that negative attack nature, but we tank the acrobatics right off the top here. We get the workup in just so we have more damage off the top here. Fire Punch does connect, and it does not kill the Swoobat, which is just baffling. I don't think I maxed out attack Eevees on her, and it's literally that difference right there is that 5 HP difference. So if I would have just farmed up on more Pokemon that give you those attack effort values, this would be completely different. However, Skyla does kind of fumble the bag, and she pivots to a Heart Stamp instead of another acrobatic, so we live to fight another day. But the Swanna comes down, and we have the normal gem here to boost return, so this is going to do massive damage against the Swan, and thankfully she does fall, because if she didn't, Nimbasa was definitely dead. And that just leaves the Skarmory here, and we're just going to pivot into the Flareon, as she's super fast and is going to be able to deal with the Skarmory no problem. So the Steel Wing does come down, we take that off the top. And he leans into the Lava Plume here, since it does not have a mischance. On top of that, Skarmory's special defense isn't great. As she pivots to an agility, trying to outspeed us. She does manage to get one more ceiling off, but the Lava Plume comes down, and that is going to be the death sentence for the Skarmory. We go ahead and defeat Skyla. 6 gym badges down, only 2 to go. Everything's going well, but I'm definitely seeing some cracks in the plans that we keep cooking up, so let's just try to play smarter and be better. All right, so let's go ahead and fast forward to Reversal Mountain, where it's me and Bianca back to back. This is the final battle to get out of this mountain and into Undella Town, where you're going to face off against your rival. And as we're going to see here, tragedy is going to occur, as it always does. So all I can picture here is Camera Up going for a massive earthquake or magnitude or earth power, whatever you have there that you're working with. And I'm like, okay, who resists ground? Who can tank this? And if you see Relic, the coveted bug here, I can't even remember the name, as the rock slide comes down, it absolutely obliterates the Volcarona. There you go. My brain was trying to seal off the name so I didn't have to say it and deal with the pain. The Volcarona falls to a 4 times rock slide. So we are going to try to move forward and move past this and avenge the Volcarona. We are here to collect our Camera Up first encounter, and we are just shifting around trying to make sure no one else dies to a Camera Up once again here. But we're going to go ahead and secure this encounter, and that'll give us a team of 6 once again. And right after this, we're going to have to take on our rival right there at Undella Town. So I'm very curious to see if we can beat him without losing anyone else as well. So let's see what happens. All right, let's do it. Let's take on Hugh here, our rival, and see if we can take him down without any casualties. The Pheasant comes down. We're going to lean heavily into the Darumaka strats here. Nimbasa with the Belly Drum. Let's see if we can proc this and maybe get a Citrus Berry. But actually, our HP is on a weird number, so I think you actually needed an even HP to proc the Citrus since our health bar is still green. But we will take it as Pheasant gets greedy for the Razor Wind, charging up a turn. So Nimbasa is actually free in that regard. However, the Samurott comes down and has a super effective stab Aqua Jet. And on top of that, I do believe he is equipped with the Mystic Water, buffing water type move. So I do not think we can live an Aqua Jet from that range, and we are 100% dead to a critical hit. So Nimbasa, she is hurting. Now, if Samurott doesn't go for Aqua Jet, I do believe we could one shot no problem. But I don't want to risk it. So let's swap into Celestial here, our Chandelier, and the Aqua Jet does come down. So I do believe Nimbasa would have fallen, but that really nice physical defense on the Ghost Chandelier here is beautiful. And we're going to lean into a Energy Ball, but we are going to play around this second Aqua Jet critical. But thankfully, we do live it, and we lean into the super effective Energy Ball, and it is enough to put down the ace, the starter on Hugh's side. Beautiful stuff there. Way to work around, even though our first and initial plan did not work. It's nice to finally get a plan B that wasn't insane. Semi-Sage is here and ready to go. We just pivot into Verbank. Our Arcanine now looking good there. We tank that no problem, and the Monkey is giving us the thumbs up for execution as we take him down and end up defeating our rival without too many issues. Wasn't the cleanest, but I will absolutely take it. All right, time for the 7th gym battle against Drayden, and bro, we got those pro level strats. We have got this in the bag. I'm sitting here like, I can't wait to see the 8th gym and see how this goes. But real quick, Seaside comes in with the Yawn. We're going to put the Dredagon to sleep here. We're leaning heavily into the Flygon HG strats. He knows what he's doing, so maybe we do as well. We're going to put the Big Dragon to sleep. We get a Rock Slide there for extra chips, setting up the Arcanine for a potential sweep as we hold on the Rocky Helmet, bringing Dredagon into range. Beautiful stuff. Our own Camera Up doing absolute work here. The Arcanine comes down. The Fire Wolf, the Fire Lion here. And Dredagon's just chilling, sleeping on the job. And if we use Outrage now, we're going to end up getting confused, and then we might not be able to kill the Haxor. So let's not do that. Let's just lean into a Crunch. We have a high attack set. This should be no problem. And Dredagon tanks that with no issue. On top of that, Dredagon wakes up. So we are hurting. Drayden does come in for the Hyper Potion, giving us an extra turn here, but another Crunch comes down. But as you can see, that is not enough either. So we are in a very precarious situation. We can't start swapping around. This was the game plan. We were just going to Outrage the next 2 Pokemon. And so this is a quick disclaimer for EV training. I don't believe I put any physical damage effort values on the Arcanine. We maxed out the speed stat, which was fantastic, but I got a little impatient, and I really should have put down a lot more Pat Rats or someone like that gives you those attack EVs. But as you're about to see, that is going to be the difference. As we get rid of the Dredagon, no problem. We go in for the super effective Outrage, and this should be a clean one-shot with the Expert Belt on top. And you're telling me 1 HP. Give me 4 Pat Rats. Give me 4 Pat Rats. What's 4 Pat Rats between friends? And that's going to cost us the run. I spent so much time on this attempt, and I still blew it, which just means we're going to have to put more time in on the next attempt. If you were wondering, this was the 4th attempt. This was definitely the furthest we came as Celestial takes down the Flygon, but now we got to take on Haxorus with literally no game plan, as our plan has been completely foiled as it does. And I'm just going to go all in on the Will-O-Wisp, potentially maiming the guillotine dinosaur, and we just get slapped in the face with an assurance, and that is just brutal. We've lost 2 on top of the Volcarona. So this is embarrassing for sure, but it really just does show this run, and really any Monolocke challenge that's going to be so specific and so narrow as far as the margins of victory are concerned. I'm really just going to have to max out EVs. I'm going to have to make sure attack damage or physical damage dealers need to be maxed out in that category, and then we also need to get those speed stats up, especially for the fire type, since we got to get in and get out because we can't really swap around. The cool thing about the grass types is there was so much utility with the sleep powders, and we even used some accuracy debuffs at some point, but we also had healing methods. There was just a lot more variety when it came to how you approach the situation, to where this is brute force. Like, you're going for those Darumaka sweeps, you're going for those really big Flareon fire fangs. Like, there's not too much utility. It's more just damage, power, go. So we do end up beating Drayden, but I'm going to go ahead and cancel the run right here, and let's boot up the 5th attempt. So rest easy, friends, and let's avenge you right here, right now. How about the 5th attempt? And I'm just kidding. So for my 5th attempt, we got all the way to Cheren, and we lost to him again. So this is going to be our 6th and hopefully final attempt of this run. All right, 7th gym. This is where the run ended last time, and I am so ready for this. We had maxed out our K9 speed, but I neglected the attack stat, so this time we are absolutely max attack, max speed. We've got the Chubby Camo leading the charge. We are going to prime this Druddigon right here, so this time we're just going to get the Druddigon in range and then completely snipe with the Arcanine and double down with the Outrage, and Flygon will not live with 1 HP if my calculations are correct, as we tank a lot of damage from the Druddigon, but the Camo holds and the Earthquake comes down. And you have got to be kidding me. We one-shot critical the Druddigon as it was going to fall asleep. This is so silly. Earthquake was just going to put it at half health, and then Crunch should have sniped from that range. And now the Flygon is in prime position to do some massive damage to the team. But I don't think this matters. I think the plan stays the same. We swap into Verbank and we double down with Outrage. If we die to a critical, we die to a critical, and we might just have to run it back. But if Verbank holds, we will outspeed and one-shot the Flygon. Do you believe? From Verbank Complex, do you hold on? Do you hold? You absolutely do. 40 HP to your name. And now we go in with the Outrage boosted by the Expert Belt. Max attack, max speed. Flygon falls, and now there's only one Pokemon left. It is the Guillotine himself. Haxorus comes down, breaking the mold as he does, but the Outrage is already locked and loaded, and the Ace falls. Absolutely. So here we go. Let's take on Marlin. Let's see if this strategy we cooked up can work. And the Chandelure does have a negative speed nature, but because I maxed out the speed EVs on the Chandelier, it should compensate for what we were missing in that negative nature. So Caracosta comes down, and we do outspeed the Caracosta. And I have also used the Caracosta, and I know how slow he is. So when he does Shell Smash, it is terrifying. He gets +2 speed, +2 attack, and +2 special attack. However, it doesn't change the fact that Caracosta is still a very, very slow turtle, and that means I think we still outspeed even though he's +2 speed, and that is absolutely the case, meaning we didn't have to swap around, we didn't have to do any craziness, we just blitzed down the turtle. So without the turtle, now it is a 1v2 with the Chandelure. I'm going all in with the energy ball here. The big whale tanks this off the top. The Wailord does like his amnesia and his bounces, but if he goes for a scald, we could be in trouble, and we call Marlin's bluff as he gets greedy for an amnesia, but the damage is done. He doesn't even heal his whale. Why? Because he already healed his turtle. That's right. He doesn't heal the whale because he already healed the turtle, and now we have a gem. An expert belt. A gem boosted Shadow Ball ready for the Jellicent. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point, but Chandelure does. Celestial drops back with a stab. Super effective. Ghost Gem boosted Shadow Ball and snipes the Ace from downtown. Was that nonsense? Yes. Was it a good plan? I think so. All right, time to take on Team Plasma Colress. He's got 5 very strong Pokemon. Really, Magnezone and Magneton have that double sturdy. So if we can clear those 2 Pokemon, then we can get the Darmanitan out there and just completely finish the sweep. So that might be our plan B or effective plan C if we can make it there with everybody intact. So the On comes down, Reversal Cursing up here, +2 attack, +2 defense, and you really don't care about the speed since the Camo is almost always going to be the slowest Pokemon on the field. So Magneton barely holding on with the Lava Plume. We could have gone Earthquake there, but no problem. We're just staying with the Lava Plumes, and the Magneton is secure. So Magnezone comes down, does have Sturdy, and we're just going to go for another Lava Plume just in case we get the burn and it effectively goes around the Sturdy. That would be glorious, and it does not, but that is okay. We've got 2 curses. We are doing wonderful here, and it goes all in for an explosion. It sacrifices its UFO body, and the Camel, can it hold with a +2 defense on top of its naturally defensive stat? And it absolutely can. Reversal She holds, sub 50 HP with leftovers, beautiful stuff, and the Cling Clang comes down. It does have an air balloon, so we can't hit it with Earthquake. We could stay in, we can maybe get a Lava Plume, a Yawn, as Cling Clang does like to set up with that gear grind, but this could also be the moment just to swap into the Darmanitan. So maybe hit him with the Yawn and open the door for the Darmanitan swap, and then we can sweep the last 3 Pokemon with our beloved sweeper. So the Shift Gear does come down, and we do get the Yawn off, so this could work out in our favor here. Culver's really pushing us to the edge here, making us come up with these on-the-spot strategies, which is really nice. You want to keep being able to adapt to these fights. There's so many times I come in with only one plan and then lose Pokemon because I was not smart enough to figure out, well, what happens if this happens? Now, there are going to be some like crazy outliers like double crits or really, really bad rolls, but you got to plan for that. You got to plan accordingly. And right here, we're seeing it pay off as Nimbasa comes in with a Fire Punch, fades on the Cling Clang, and that only leaves 2 Pokemon on Colress's side. Metang comes down. There is no Sturdy. There is nothing that can hold this Fire Punch Darmanitan at bay, and that's another Pokemon down. And the Behemoth comes down as well. Now, this one is not super effective, so it might cling to life here, and it does with 1 or 2 HP. A Psychic comes down, it is stab. No critical here, and we do live, so a little bit tipsy. The Citrus Berry just to bring us to a safer space. We didn't need that, but it is no problem. The Fire Punch finishes the fight. Colress is defeated, and all team members are still alive. And now Ghetsis, I think you know what this means. It's a table for 2, and let's see who comes out on top. What can you do to set up and just get someone in there and completely go to town? As the Volcarona gets that light screen up, tanks a Toxic, no problem. The Coferius thinks he's doing his job. He thinks he's doing a very good job here, but it's just a means to an end as we swap into reversal, and the Protect Cheese comes down, but it fails as it does. We lean into the Yawn. We're going to put this Coffin to sleep as we are up to something, and maybe Ghetsis knows, maybe he doesn't, as our Camel gets Toxic poisoned as well. But now for the third swap, coming in Nimbasa, the road has been paved. We have to tank a Shadow Ball, but remember the light screen is up, halving that damage, no problem. Leftovers for reprieve, absolutely. The Belly Drum comes down. The leftovers is slowly going to be chipping that up and up and up as we go through this fight. So we are +6 attack. We've got to remember our speed and attack are completely maxed out from those glorious Eevees that we spent so long getting. The Cofagrigus comes down, is gone, but not forgotten. We do lose that sheer force ability, but no problem. With a max attack and max speed, it does not matter. The Seismitoad comes down and is just an offering to the hungry Nimbasa. She hasn't eaten in days and she's ready to go. The Seismitoad falls, and now only 4 Pokemon remain. The leftovers have already got us back to half HP. No problem here. We're going to go with a Stab Fire Punch against the tanky Drapion. This is going to be beautiful as well. 3 down, 3 to go. Nimbasa completely flexing. Who let this Darmanitan loose? Who let them run around the zoo? The Hydreigon comes down. The return is enough damage. It does just about what Earthquake does at this point in the game with those friendly values, if that even makes sense. The triple-headed dragon falls. Electros, a very stubborn Pokemon. No weaknesses with that Levitate ability, but everyone has a weakness against this Darmanitan. Nimbasa doing work right now. The Electros falls, and that only leaves the Toxicroak. And honestly, if you want to crit a Sucker Punch, I dare you, sir. We are here for the sweep. I'm here for the sweep. We are leaning into a super effective superpower with the fadeaway drop back. That's not very effective because you're poison. You're poison fighting. So on rewatch, I almost threw there. For some reason, I thought the stupid Toxic Croak was dark fighting, and I completely blundered that. I didn't even realize that the first time through, but our damage was so high, it didn't matter. Yeah, absolutely wrecked Ghetsis. That's a little bit of disrespect on top, but I will take it. Nothing bad can happen. Nothing bad can happen on our way to our rival. What are you talking about? At the very end of Victory Road, there's 2 veteran trainers. She's right there on the steps that lead you to your rival. We send out Reversal. I knew she had a Zeebstrika, so I had the ground typing lined up, but I had forgotten that she had a level 54 Starmie, so I needed to set up on the Zeebstrika with the Camel and then swap into maybe like Nimbasa or someone else and just sweep. But instead, I was like, oh, Zeebstrika is electric. Let's just one-shot it with Earthquake, and now, as they say in the industry, we are going to pay the ultimate price. Castelia pivots. We get that special defense bump just to hold on to the surf. And because we max speed EVs, I'm hoping we can get a bite flinch 2-timer right there. And instead, the Starmie outspeeds. And we have our first casualty of the 6th run. And we are just doing so well and patting ourselves on the back only to get shish kebabbed right here, right now. Celestial tanking a stab, super effective surf, and gives everything she has with the last bit of light, the last bit of flame in her chandelier. She fades on the Starmie, but it's not over as a sock comes down. Another run killer right here. Is Castelia's death in vain? We pivot back into reversal for a potential setup. We eat the Rock Throw. It does a critical hit. Of course it does. It was a Rock Tomb, rather, a critical hit Rock Tomb. We were already slower. The Bulk Up comes down. We go for the Yawn. No problem. Can we tank anything? Do we need to swap? Can anyone tank anything? The Brick Break comes down. It is Bulk Up. It is in favor of the blue karate get up and camera falls. The chubby camel falls. Normally, I would have swapped into Chandelure to eat the Brick Break because of the ghost typing, but we can't use Ducklet. It's just here for HMs. I obviously didn't want to lose Nimbasa, but my actions have consequences, and I have to live with the results today. And it's just brutal. Nimbasa does come out at the end. Not only do we lose our first, we lose our second against veteran Portia on the steps of Victory Road. Okay, we've lost the camel. We have lost my beloved chubby camel, who was just going to set this fight up so safely, so easily. We only have one yawn user left in the Fire Monkey, who is incredibly fast, but so squishy. So this is terrifying. We're going to send the yawn out. We're going to put the pigeon to sleep here, the Un Pheasant. A stab facade comes down, and my gosh, if this crits, we lose Lost Lauren. Thankfully, we hold on, get a little bit of leftovers for reprieve, as you do. And now we are swapping into Nimbasa, and we have to live above half HP here for the belly drum to work. Please God, live above half HP. And are you serious? That is dead on the line. I don't give a crackerjack. We are going in. Belly drum comes down. All I need is 1 HP as we outspeed and outdamage every single Pokemon on Hugh's team. Give me a dozen HP and I will make this happen. Nimbasa comes down with a stab, fire punch, max attack, max speed. Give me the belly drum. We've got this. Bouffalant comes down. Give me another fire punch. I want it all. Punching that ticket to the Elite Four. We've come too far. There's too much time poured into this run. Attempt number 6. Samurott comes down. Our rival starter. I don't care. Return comes in. You can't touch this. Darmanitan is on fire. From Nimbasa with love. Semi-Sage comes down. Stab. Super effective fire punch. Fade away. Buzzer beater. Let's win this run. So let's dive in. Let's see if we can keep everybody safe. On top of that, we did give the Volcarona the EXP share to get that level 59 to acquire Quiver Dance for potential sweeps in the rest of the Elite Four. But right here, right now, Celestial comes down. No misclicks. Let's go straight into the Shadow Ball. Cofagrigus is strong, but not strong enough as the Coffin falls. So 1 down, 3 to go. We did get some points there in the speed stat as well. I don't think Golurk is going to be able to tank a stab. Super effective Shadow Ball on top of an Expert Belt as well. That is just so much ungodly damage. And again, Drifblim is going to be a sacrificial slaughter here. It just comes down to the mirror match Chandelure versus Chandelure. We have so much preparation. We put so much time into this run. There is the Quiver Dance. Beautiful stuff. We did kind of screw up at Victory Road losing 2, but right here, right now, do you believe? Shadow Ball comes down. Celestial looking for the clean sweep against Chantal, and we are faster. It does do what we needed it to do. We clear the first Elite Four member. My goodness. But let's see what happens here. Lipard comes down against our Fire Monkey. Lost Lauren going for the yawn. It's probably going to use Fake Out, so we're going to have to take some chip off the top. No crit there, thankfully. No crit here would be glorious. We get the yawn. It's going to fall asleep next turn. How much damage are we talking with the Night Slash? Massive damage. We use my Berry Juice, no problem, little bonus there for reprieve. And now I think we just go into Nimbasa, tank the Night Slash, and as long as we're above 50% HP, we are good to go. If it goes for a track, that would be monumental. Oh my god, it went for a track. I just saw the gender difference as we swapped, and this is GG, baby girl. We are going for the belly drum. The Lipard falls asleep. We have leftovers just to get the HP up in case something tragic happens, but the Lipard gets completely outmaneuvered, gets outplayed to oblivion, and now we can just rain down the Fire Punch. We've seen this sweep before, but now it shows up in the Elite Four, and that just puts a smile on your face. Absolutely. Got the XP share on Verbank, just showing a little bit of love to the entire team, so everybody is up to speed. So now we are only +5 attack because of the Intimidate, but if we've seen Nimbasa's attack stat, it's over 200, so there's no stopping that. You're going to need a lot more Intimidates to go around. As Nimbasa completely flexes on Grimsley right now. The Scrafty comes down, and I do believe we could just lead into another Fire Punch. Absolutely, Superpower would be super effective, but we would lose another attack proc. +5 stab on the Darmanitan is just ungodly. Look at that, 222 attack stat. This is beautiful. This is glorious, and just for the show off, just for the style points, we can go for a 4 times super effective Superpower, as there won't be any downside, as this is the ace. This is the final Pokemon, and Grimsley falls. I am so happy about how that played out. So I'm just looking for like 2 or 3 Quiver Dances to get us in range. And honestly, Sigilif is probably the only one that's going to live if it does. So here we go. Let's see if this plan can work out. Let's get the yawn down. Musharna will fall asleep the next turn, and it responds with a yawn of its own. No problem. It will probably go for a second yawn, not wanting to go down. But honestly, let's see here. Actually, we can probably just keep Lost Lauren in. Let's go ahead and just burn a Sunny Day. so we do fall asleep, and then it's probably going to use Yawn again. Absolutely. So we cheese the Musharna here, and that way our berry will last longer on the Volcarona instead of just having to pop it right there. So, because now if Musharna goes for Yawn when it wakes up, we still have an extra turn with that berry. So let's get the Quiver Dance, +1 speed, +1 special defense, and most importantly, +1 special attack. So beautiful stuff. Honestly, I think we could do it with two Quiver Dance, but let's go for 3 or 4 just to make sure nobody's going to be messing with us. So there's a Yawn, no problem. Let's go for 3 here. Let's get the third one in there, and we are just going to be nuking everything in sight. We get the cheese, the sunlight fades, and there we go. So now we have 3, and it's going to use Yawn again. So now is the time to pull the trigger. Signal Beam comes down. It is stab super effective on +3 special attack, and we have yet another Pokemon that has over 200 special attack or in their specific attack stat. Sigilif comes down, is looking for it all, but a +3 stab flamethrower should get the job done. If it holds on and responds with potentially Air Slash, that might have hurt really bad, but no problem. Again, just so much firepower on this team. We've been really struggling to get here because of how hard it is to swap in and out of, but with all of these moves at our disposal, the Yawns, the setup, the plays, it's so good. I love how we have a special attack sweeper in Volcarona and a physical attack sweeper in Darmanitan. It's just so nice, and this is going phenomenally. I am so happy. We sweep Caitlyn, beautiful stuff, and now the final challenge before Iris is going to be the fighting types with Marshall. So right here, Losthorn comes down, leads the charge as per usual. We're going to lean into the Yawn, so Throw falls asleep here. The Rock Tomb comes down, and that is not exactly what I wanted. I wanted him to go Bulldoze. We absolutely swap into Aspersia, and if Throw goes for Bulldoze, this is everything. If Throw goes for Bulldoze, oh my gosh, the calculations, the absolute calculations. Let's get 1 Flame Charge, let's get 1 Speed Proc. I'm just nervous of that. So look how much damage that does. We'll also use that as a litmus test to see how much damage we're going to need. So there is +1 speed and +1 attack. Now let's see what we're working with. That could have been a misplay. Throw does wake up and he goes for Storm Throw, but we don't lose a speed proc, but we do get that ensured critical. And he is going to go pop the balloon here. He's going to use Storm Throw again. And the problem being he might be too fast now. So I'm going to go all in on a +1 Fire Punch from that range with maxed out attack EVs. If this kills Throw, this could be everything. It doesn't. He holds on and he gets, oh my god, he goes for Bulldoze Dub because we popped the balloon with the Storm Throw. I thought we were still up on the balloon. I am a silly person. I think we just double down Fire Punch. There's the full restore. I am willing to lose my Emboar here. Oh my gosh, look at that. So I think we can fade away with a Flame Charge and we will be faster than the Sock. We can sacrifice Emboar against the Sock, popping the Sturdy, and then we can just sweep from there with one of our special attackers. I think that's the play. That is absolutely the play. Wow, I got so flustered there. If that Bulldoze crit, we would have lost Aspersia and would have been in a terrible, terrible spot. And the Sock doesn't even come down. Well, look what just happened. If we outspeed the Mean Shot with the +2 speed, we will definitely one-shot. Will we outspeed that? We absolutely do. The speed EVs plus the +2 Flame Charge is enough, and the Mean Shot can't tank that. Absolutely not. The Cockledore comes down. This is insanity. He's using everything but the Sock. He knows what we're up to. I'm going all in. If this crits, we might get the kill. It might hold on, though, because of Throw. There is the red. Do we dodge? What does it do? What does it do? This Hammer Arm. And Aspersia sidesteps. The Emboar sidesteps the Hammer Arm, and that is why you can't use those 90% accuracy moves. And now the Emboar from the starting town comes in so clutch, and now I'm fine with rolling the arm thrust all or nothing here, because Fire Punch, we would be rolling the burn, and it's the same thing because we can snipe Socks. We can snipe Sock as long as the Sturdy is gone. So can we get a 5-roll? Can the Emboar live on? Can we get a 5-roll? Can the Emboar live on? Can we get a 5-roll? Are you serious? I cannot believe this. Let's take on Iris. Her team also has 2 items. You don't normally see that. The Haxorus, the Ace, has a Focus Sash, so you can actually one-shot him. On top of that, the Druddigon has a Life Orb, so that really boosts her team as well. It's just such a strong team of 6. The Yawn comes down, and now the Dragon will be sleeping on the job, and if this doesn't one-shot, we've got a Sunny Day to boot as well. And it absolutely doesn't. Losthorn said, it's not over for me, not yet. And in Losthorn's dying breath, he gets the sun on our side and is going to tank this Dragon Pulse to the grave. Absolutely. Losthorn goes down, but that's it. That is absolute beauty. Right there, we get a free swap into Castle. Thank you so much, you Fire Monkey. Absolutely. And honestly, let's go ahead and get 1 Quiver Dance in. Let's go ahead and get 1 Quiver Dance in. We also have leftovers for Reprieve. The Hydreigon is fast asleep. Let's go ahead and get, I'm going to go ahead and get the light screen down to double down on the holding the Hydreigon at bay with its damage, but she's still fast asleep, and this is quickly turning into our favor. Let's keep it together. Let's not lose our composure here. As the Hydreigon is still sleeping on the job, we're going for 3 quiver dances. That is 3 quiver dances, and honestly, at this point, we might be able to sweep. How bad is the damage? That damage does nothing, and that was in the sun, so now it's potentially going to pivot into a surf. I'm going to go for 1 more quiver dance. Our special defense is +4 on top of ridiculous special defense stat. This is going to do half damage on top of the light screen as well. Nothing, and you know what? I don't want to get greedy. This is our moment, and let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Signal Beam comes down. It is stab super effective on +4 special attack. There's a fadeaway critical. There is no Pokemon on Iris's team that has sturdy. We are back to full health. This is absolutely beautiful. The light screen wears off. The Drayden comes down, and we're going to get a neutral Signal Beam here. It is +4 special attack on ridiculous stats here. Our special attack Eevee is maxed out. Our speed Eevee is maxed out. We are looking so good. We don't need the heat wave. We don't need the heat wave. We don't want it. And the Archeops comes down, so Archeops is kind of scary. Bug is 4 times, not very effective, or 2 times. But Flamethrower is just going to be not very effective, and I think we're fine given that special attack. And Archeops doesn't have the highest special defense, and we shred the Flying Fossil, and 3 Pokemon are down. Aggron has nothing when it comes to special defense, so the Aggron is a parting gift. Iris clinging to what she has left, but this is looking so good right now. Lapras, my favorite Pokemon, comes down, but cannot withstand a neutral +4 stab Flamethrower. Where are you at? Goodbye, you huggable Loch Ness monster, and you know what that means. The Haxorus comes down. We cannot one-shot the Haxorus. I repeat, we cannot one-shot the Haxorus because of the Focus Sash, but even with a +1 speed boost from the Dragon Dance, we should be just fine. So we're just going to Signal Beam down. We could go for a Flamethrower burn for the roll there for some style points, but I was just a little bit nervous. I don't care. I just want Iris to sit here spamming the full restore, and we could actually go for that Flamethrower cheese since Signal Beam does do the entire health bar, but who cares? The Focus Sash only happens 1 time. It's not like it's sturdy, and look at that. Champion Iris falls, and that is immaculate. That is so good. So happy we were able to pull it out. Lost one with all of those clutch yawns, living on 4 to get that sunny day, basically sealing the fate of Iris's team as Volcarona took no damage from the Hydreigon. My goodness, it's all just mumbling words at this point, but man, I'm excited. I'm happy we're able to go the distance and secure it. And this goes out to, again, the Chubby Camel and the Flareon we lost along the way, but we did it. We absolutely did it. As always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you on the flip. Peace.